wow. Like, wow. How do you start a TV show to make people like go, oh, this is how you do it. This bloody show is going to shock the hell out of people. What a fantastic opening episode. So it is, I mean, it is very much in the It world, the It vibe, the sort of world that they built up for that movie, the adaptation. Oh my God, is it in that vibe and world? But also the shocks you get. The opening scene, you see a kid in a cinema. Oh yeah, before we start, spoilers. This is a spoiler-filled video. It is a review of the entire episode, so if you haven't seen it, go watch the episode and then come back. So, but definitely, oh my gosh, go and watch the episode. So, we start off, we have a scene of a kid in the cinema. He's snuck into the cinema to watch a film, and the usher's trying to sort of shoo him out. And he then goes out, and it looks like he's trying to leave the town. So obviously something's happened to that boy, and you hear like someone mention that his family are a bit rough, like not a great family, and something's happened to this boy, and he's basically going to leave town. He's hitchhiking out of town. So after he leaves the cinema, he's got a bag, he's got his coat, it's freezing cold, and he's leaving the town of Derry. And this family pick him up. They seem like a nice, wholesome family at first. They pick him up. And then as the car journey goes on, you start to get a sense this family isn't right. And they're getting more and more creepy, more and more weird. And next thing you know, they're just like coming out of the most insane dialogue. The girl in the back seat is like eating like what looks like raw liver with like her hands, and she's got all blood on them. It's all weird. The boy starts spelling things, but he keeps going over the top. Next thing you see, the boy's got the sort of Pennywise look with the eyes that go slightly that way, and the lip and the teeth, and you're like, oh my God. And then you get like the mum who's pregnant starts giving birth, and you see her giving birth, and it's disgusting. I was like, oh my God, what am I watching? And the baby that comes out, it's like mutant two-headed bat-winged demon baby, and it sets about killing the kid in the car. And you're just like, and then you get this little scene where the kid like sucks a dummy. I don't know if we're going to come back to that later on point, but he sort of sucks a dummy, even though he's like a 11, 12, and he's sucking his dummy, probably about 11ish, and he's sucking his dummy. And you see the dummy fly out the car and go down into a drain, and then you get the It sign comes out of the water and welcome to Derry. And that's how they start this thing. Kid in the cinema, gets kicked out the cinema, decides he's going to leave Derry, and just gets like abducted by his family, and it turns out they're evil, and then they kill him. But I think this whole thing's like one of those Pennywise illusions. It felt a bit more Nightmare on Elm Street-y to me when it started going, but it was very much that cinema illusion, that not like Pennywise sort of illusion that he puts on, his lure to get you in. But what a fantastic opening. Then we go on to meet our sort of like main cast, and like we see a girl who's obviously being bullied because it's horrible reason she's being bullied. Her dad died in a factory accident where he got caught in a machine, and kids are being horrible because it was like a pickling factory. They're putting pickles in her locker. I mean, how nasty are the kids in this school? Proper bully, nasty kids. Then we meet my favourite character to the point was this conspiracy UFO fan who loved the aliens and loved all that like conspiracy stuff. Thinks the aliens are on Earth now, trying to sort of do things to us and manipulate us. He's a proper like conspiracy alien guy. And I was kind of a bit like that when I was that age as well, because I was massively into the X-Files, so I kind of resonated with that character, like reading all the stuff about aliens and possible alien invasions and secret aliens on Earth. So I know where that kid was coming from. Although this is set in the 60s. This is 1962, I believe. So it's kind of like, I didn't know that. I mean, I knew they had the nuclear war stuff going, which they touch on that a lot. And I knew they had I didn't know they had so much alien stuff going. I suppose the sci-fi thing sort of caught big in the 60s, so that's possibly why. But I was very much like, that character reminded me of me as a kid, reading all this stuff about aliens and alien invasions and stuff, and then going to tell my friends about it, and my friends really not caring, because I cared more about this stuff than they did. So it was very like, that character is so like, resonating with the person I am. You had a young Jewish kid who's kind of like feeling guilty because the kid that went missing, a lot of the characters now have kind of a connection to him. So we've got the kid that goes missing. He was supposed to be having a birthday party, and the mum of the kid kind of paid with like chocolate and candy a couple of the neighbourhood kids to go to the party. It looks like they didn't turn up, even though they got paid to do it. and that's making them feel guilty now because they didn't help this kid out when he kind of needed a friend. So like the young Jewish kid with sort of curly hair, he feels bad about that, and I feel so sorry for him. You sort of see him at the dinner table as well later on, and his family are kind of like anti him having all these sort of like delusions and fantasies and that he should be set in real life. His dad's kind of focused on you need to be set in real life. That's kind of sad sort of thing. Yeah, and then we've got the alien conspiracy guy's sister. You sort of see her for a bit. She's quite funny, and she's kind of like just a young girl. She's about like 6 or 7, I think, and she's kind of like trying to hang around with the bigger kids, and they kind of don't want her there and that. And then you've got a young black girl whose dad is the projectionist at the cinema, and you sort of see her a bit later on in the episode. So they're our kind of like new losers club, if you would, and we're kind of like, oh yeah, this is great. Like we're getting this is a new bunch of characters. We also see like bits where we go to like an army base. We keep flashing back to an army base where you've got two new flight people, pilots, that's the word, have come to the base, and one of them's like a major. One of them's a major, but he's black, so it's obviously unusual having a black sort of ranking officer. And he meets his new squadron, like his little team, and one of them doesn't salute him because he's obviously a racist. And I think I know where they're going with this. If you read the book, you know where they're going with this. And I think we've also met because you see like a general drive up at some point, and he kind of reprimands the guy for not saluting his like superior officer, and now it's a court martial and has a go at him. And we get like there's a guy in the car that drove him now, and I think that's going to be the guy from The Shining. So in the book I've read it years ago, but I'm pretty sure Dick Hooran is in the book in a specific scene to do with racism. And Dick Hooran, if you don't know from The Shining, I think I've got his name right. He's the guy that sort of teaches Danny about The Shining, if you've read The Shining. So he's the psychic guy that can be psychic with Danny, sort of thing. Has The Shining. There you go. And I'm pretty sure he's the one driving the car because he's kind of looking at the general in a kind of a weird, at the major, sorry, in a weird way, like. So I was like, oh, I like to be introduced to him quite soon. Then we get so the army base story is basically he's there. This new major is there because he's a fantastic pilot, and he's trying to second. So that was my kids getting in the way there. Yeah, so the army story is basically he's there to fly this plane. It's like an experimental new plane, and they want him to sort of test it out and test the facilities on it. So a bit later on, he's in bed asleep, and these guys wearing gas masks come into that. I don't know whether they're all dressed up in gas masks and weird gear, and they come into his room and try to beating the hell out of him, trying to find out the information on this plane. So this is a secret plane. They don't want the information getting to, I don't know, like whoever they're fighting at the time. I guess it's. I know, they're fine. But they don't want the information getting to them, obviously. So he's not saying anything. And these guys are in these black sort of like hazmat suits things with the gas masks on, are beating the hell out of him and trying to get a gun to his head. Then his mate comes in and sort of helps fight them off and sort of get rid of them. So obviously whatever they're doing on this base is really sort of secret stuff. And I kept going back to the whole like alien thing, like the whole key with the sort of alien sort of like conspiracy theories, like is he going to be right? Because he said there's weird stuff going on that base. And then I started thinking of like Roswell, New Mexico, if you know that story with the alien spaceship and all that. I started thinking about that. Well, I don't know if this is going out, that's pretty much my mind going off somewhere else, but I don't know if that's where they're going to go with it at all. But anyway, so then we go back to the kids, and the girl whose dad died in the pickle factory jar is in the bathroom, and she starts hearing a voice in the drain. And when she looks down, she sees 2 fingers poking up. And it's the voice of the kid that went missing in the beginning of the movie. The one that was supposed to be their friend. Like, the kind of like, and then you sort of find out that he was kind of her friend. He tried to kiss her and she was like, no, so that upset him a little bit. Because she said, but you're just my friend sort of thing. And I think that kind of got him a bit upset. So she feels guilty about this kid going missing as well at the start. And she can hear his voice and he's singing a song down the drain. And then we go to like the Jewish kid, and he's obviously had this argument with his dad, goes to bed that night, and his dad, during this sort of argument about being real and serious stuff, talks about the Holocaust. Now, if you have just seen the Ed Gein TV show, this is going to hit you way harder, this part. So the dad talks about how they used skins of Jewish people during the Holocaust to make lampshades. And obviously, if you've watched the Ed Gein show, you saw that whole thing pan out with that crazy woman that Ed Gein kind of like fantasized about. This woman in Germany that apparently made thing out of Jewish people's skins after they killed them during the Holocaust, which is horrendous. It's horrible, the thing that happened. So like, but then this guy is like telling him these stories about what happened at that time. So you're like, oh my gosh, like thingy. So then the kid lays in bed and he's there reading his comic books in bed. He's reading Batman. He's actually reading, I believe it's a Batman versus Clayface. And I thought that's kind of like clever, because Clayface is a character that can change form. And then I was thinking about that guy and how he changes form. So I thought, I wonder if that's why they chose that villain for Batman to be fighting. But anyway, so Batman's fighting Clayface in his comic book. He's reading the comic book. This kid's reading the comic book, and suddenly the light goes off next to him on his lamp. So he turns it back on. And he's reading, and it goes off again. He turns it back on again, turns it back on. And then he looks at the lamp, and the lamp is made out of human faces, and they're moving and like going, because they're so lips so goes on, and he's like, ah, and the kid freaks out, throws the lamp, drops to the floor, and you see the light of the lamp moving like towards him. So it's the lamp's gone behind the bed, and this lamp light is moving towards it. It's so creepy, because you're like, oh my, he's going to come around the corner. I thought he was going to have arms and start trying to like reach out, but just the lamp comes rolling around the corner, and the face, the lips open, it's like screaming, and he freaks out. Then his brother walks in, and obviously there's nothing there, because that's what Pennywise does. It's an illusion, so there's nothing there. And the brother's like, I can't believe we're related. And I just thought that was hilarious. What a deadpan way to do it. So then, obviously, the kids, that sort of the three kids, the alien conspiracy dude, the Jewish guy, and the girl have now met up in this like secret like base they've got, which is kind of high up in the town, like a little viewpoint thing. And they're discussing what's going on. The Jewish boy is still throwing up into a bucket because he's so horrified by what happened. She then mentions that. They then go to the library to try and work out what all this means, because they're kind of like getting a theory on it. And they find the news clipping of the boy that disappeared. And they find out that a girl at the cinema spoke to him before he went. And they recognise who the girl is. They go to see the girl, which is this little black girl we talked about earlier. Because when the boy was kicked out of the cinema, she saw him hiding somewhere and didn't tell the usher where he was to try and help him escape, which was quite sweet. It was a really sweet moment, because she was like a little nod to him, like, you're going to be all right. And so they sort of work all this out. And then they go to see the girl. And the girl's kind of like doesn't want anything to do with it at first. Then the girl that was in the bath with the fingers coming out of the bath says that she mentioned there was a song being sung. And that's what stops like the black girl in her tracks. And she turns back to him. She's like, I know that what you're talking about, because I've heard that before. I've heard kids' voices in a basement. And so all the kids are much like the It film, all the kids have had experiences, and they're trying to sort of like pin it all together. So the black girl says, oh, we need to go to the cinema because that song is in a film. So we need to go see the film. So they go to the film. It's a film called The Music Man. And they're sitting in the cinema, ready to watch the film. So the black girls go up to work the projection, because obviously she watches her dad do it, so she probably knows how to do it. So she starts the projection off of the movie. The film starts at the scene where the song is, and I guess she knew what reel it was. And all the other kids are sitting there watching it. And as you're seeing the Music Man doing his dance in the thing and singing his song, they're like, that's the song, that's the song. On the screen is that weird family from the beginning of the movie that caught the kid, and then you see the kid in the middle of them holding the baby. And they're like, why is he in the film? How's he got in the film, sort of thing? And they're properly freaking out. And this next scene shocked the crap out of me. The third act of this episode is just like, your heart is going. And I was in like tensity, because the kid walks forward, typical Pennywise style. The kid steps forward and he starts blaming the children for like the reason he died. So he's on the big cinema screen, and he comes forward and he's like, you're the reason I died. And he's carrying this like bundle with like a baby and a thing. And then of course he lets this baby out after you see the Pennywise face sort of appear. Not Pennywise, but you see like the lip, the smile. You see that Skarsgård smile. He does that amazing smile. I don't know if you've seen interviews with Skarsgård, but he does this thing where he drops his lip down and then brings these bits up. Like, I can't do it because I've got a funny messed up face. But he does here, he drops his bottom lip down and he brings these up, this here up, and he gives him that Pennywise smile. And the kid on the screen, I don't know if they CGI'd it or he actually can do it, but he does the same smile. And you're like, oh my God. And then he does that with the baby, and the demon baby from the beginning of the movie comes out with the wings and the claws and the two faces. And it just starts running around the cinema, and they start freaking. Next, what I did not see coming, they kill the Jewish kid, gets like grabbed up and just gets splattered about, and the young girl that saw hands down the drain. She then looks up and the blood just pours onto her face because she kills the Jewish kid. Then you see him slam against, because the black girl, I'm getting excited about this. The black girl is in the projection booth still, so she's looking through the little window, and the Jewish kid just splatters against the window, and she's trying to get out. She gets a hammer, she's trying to get out because the door's locked. She can't get out. Try and help them. So she's trying to get through the door. She's trying to smash with a hammer. The other kids are in the cinema screaming and running around the cinema as this demon baby thing is hunting them all down. Then you think you see it grab the boy, the alien conspiracy boy, but you don't really see him die. So I don't know if he's dead or not. But you see him sort of get whacked and taken down. And then like it all goes quiet for a bit. And then you've got the girl who's in the cinema with the young girl, the conspiracy theorist sister. So I don't know any of their names. I'm not into it enough to know their names yet. But the little kid is lying on the floor. The 6-year-old girl is on the floor and she's laying on the cinema underneath the seats. And you've got the other girl who sees her and she's like, come here, come here. She goes to reach out for her, takes her hand, and suddenly the demon baby comes swooping down and you're not sure who it's got. And you see screaming. And then next thing you know, sort of like the black girl manages to break out of the room, runs into the cinema, opens the door and sees the other girl there. And she's like, come on, to the older girl. She's like, come on. Gets her out of the screen and she's like, what happened? What happened in there? And she's covered in blood. And she's like traumatized. And next thing you see, you look down and she's still holding the hand of the girl, the youngest girl, the sort of 6-year-old girl. She's still holding her hand in her hand, but it's like a severed hand. And she's holding it still and she just starts screaming. And they play music. And that's the end of the episode. And I was like, holy, what the hell? Because they've literally got you into this group of characters who you think are going to be the new Losers Club, and they kill them. I think they've killed 3 of them. They may have only killed 2, but I think they've killed 3 so far. And I was just like, oh my God. They literally went with this episode. We are going to shock people. We're going to scare them. We are going to go, this is our TV show. Boom. And there it is. And I was like, whoa, I was expecting to like, this is our group. We're going to follow these kids. We're kind of liking these kids. These are quite good kids. They're going to be doing something decent. They've just killed. This is it kind of reminds me a bit of, I don't know if you're as old as I am, but the original Transformers, the movie, so you had the TV show Transformers, then you had the movie. And the opening, first 10 minutes of that movie, they kill off the original cast of the Transformers movie. So Ironhide dies, Jazz dies, Cliffjumper dies, Optimus Prime dies in the first 15 minutes of the movie. And then you're left with this the rest of the people. It reminded me kind of that, where you think, so you kind of like, oh, these guys are great. I like these characters. Oh God, they're dead. And it's just like, oh my God. And the blood and gore in this movie, that opening scene where the woman's having the baby, is disgusting. You can see she lifts up top, you see her underwear, and then you can see the baby pushing out, and it's just like, I was like, oh my God. Ooh. And then the end with the blood in the end as well. Oh my God, where are they? Oh, it's like this show is like, they're not holding back. And it's great they're not holding back. I'm happy they're not holding back. They're really, really going for it. And I don't even know where they're going with the rest of this show now. But one thing I will mention, if you've read the book, and this is spoilers for the book, there's part of the book to do with the ending of the movie a lot, which has been left out of all versions of, so the Tim Curry version and the Skarsgård, but they left it out to do with this giant turtle. That's kind of all to do with how they defeat Pennywise in the book. It's more psychological and going into sort of the imagination, the mind, than it is physical, in a physical fight. So in the original, it's the giant spider they fight, they kill. In the remake version, in chapter 2, they fight the giant spider, but then they sort of use the fact they're not scared of it, and it makes it smaller and smaller and smaller until it becomes like a puddle on the floor. In the book, it's all done in the mind. So it's like going into the sort of deadlights and then going into psychology and trying to defeat what it really is, the psychological power of it, what it really is. And it's that. And in that, there is a giant turtle that kind of helps them on their way. And you keep seeing references to turtles. There's obviously the duck and cover turtle, because obviously of the nuclear war, they said that the only way you'll survive a nuclear war is by ducking and covering, which we know is just, it's just a way to make you feel better. So I was just like, okay. You had duck and coat, and then there's a turtle charm bracelet. So they keep referencing turtles. So I don't know if they're going to try and go down that route. Maybe. But we all know that at the end of this guy's winning. No matter what they do in this show, this guy is not dying. Because we know we see him in the future movies, and this is linked to the movies. We didn't see Skarsgård at all. Unless I missed him in like a background shot or something. We didn't see Skarsgård. We saw Pennywise's other forms. We've not seen the clown form, and we've not seen Skarsgård doing it. So I was very much like, when are we going to see that? And I was kind of waiting for it. Obviously, I've got my merch out ready. But we didn't see him as Pennywise. And I was kind of like, that's interesting. And I was like, are they going to save him till the end? Or are we going to get him sprinkled? I want him sprinkled in. I want to see sort of him in the background, maybe. And also, there's that whole thing where they brought that toy line. Again, toy lines ruin a lot of plots of movies. They brought out a NECA figure. And it's kind of like that one. But it's Pennywise, if he's a human, wearing makeup. So he's wearing a mask. He's wearing like a headpiece. So it's not the proper clown. It's like a man dressed up as that clown in that form. And apparently it's going to be a character in the TV show. So it's whatever Pennywise uses to base his appearance on in the future, which is obviously the clown. So that's interesting. I can't wait to see where they go with that, if that's going to be a flashback or if that's going to actually happen in this show. But I'm already seeing like where we've got the racism stuff in there, which is obviously going to be to do with the nightclub getting burnt down. That's in the book where Dick Hurang's in the nightclub, he's trying to save people. So that'll be good. It's like a black-only nightclub, some racists descend on it. I think it's like Ku Klux Klan, I think, descend on it and burn it with everyone inside. So I think they're going to go down that route, which I'm kind of looking. I kind of want to see that story because I remember reading the book, and that part of the book is like there's like little stories from the past in the book, and I remember reading that thinking, oh my god, that is horrific. There's other ones to do with like a gang war, like a mafia shootout, and there's another one to do with a explosion during an Easter egg hunt thing. So that if they do that in this TV show, oh my god, which is what I thought this show was going to be, like a collection of stories from the past, but obviously it's a linear story now. But I was just like, this show is mad and I'm all for it. Well done to the creators of it for making a fantastic first episode. It's definitely hooked me in. I'll be there next week. I'll be there every week. So if you want to watch more of these reviews on the show, please come watch like my videos, subscribe, and you'll get more of the shows and notification. But if you want to be notified of me turning up with the episodes, I'll probably do it after I watch them. Obviously, I'm in the UK, so I think they drop in America at sort of like 9 o'clock at night there. It's something like stupid o'clock in the morning here. So I'll be watching them around 9 o'clock. We wait till the kids go to school. About 9 o'clock, I'll start watching it, Welcome to Derry. And then I'll do a review shortly after I've watched it. Guys, thank you very much for watching. And let me know in the comments what you thought. Were you as like blown away by this episode as I was? Was you expecting that much, that soon? And also that graphic? Oh my god, and did you expect them to kill off those characters? Did you think these were going to be our losers club? Brilliant, brilliant work by the makers of this show. It's really got me. Thank you. And again, like, if you guys put in your comments, let me know what you think. Let me know where you think the show is going. Because I like interact. I always chat. I always message people back. I always communicate with people in comments. So please, 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 let me know what you think. I'll see you later, guys. And oh my god, what a fantastic show.